Hello, good evening. Hey, once again, welcome to Listening and Speaking One. So, this is your teacher or your lecturer, Mr. Arnold M. Suleiman, or you can just call me Arnold. So, we're going to continue about informative listening. So, last week we discussed about appreciative listening. So, today we're going to discuss another type of listening, which is informative, or some resources say that it's informational. Okay, so what is informative listening? So informative listening is the name we give to the situation where the listener's primary concern is to understand the message. So last week, uh, when we talked about appreciative listening, it's listening to auditory information that we appreciate or like. And informative listening, on the other hand, its primary concern is to understand the message. So you listen, and then we're going to check by questioning if you understand the message. Okay, so informative listening or listening to understand is found in all areas of our lives. So much of our learning comes from informative listening. So one basic example of informative listening is like this one. So you listen to the information that I am telling you, and also while you're doing that, you're also watching the video. So this is a type of or a basic example of an informative listening. You listen to the information that I am telling you. Also in the class, while I am teaching, and then you're listening. When you are talking to your friends, or your friends are telling you something, certain information, and then they are going to ask you certain questions to check whether you understand what they said. All right. Three key variables related to informative listening. So for appreciative listening, we have presentation and then perception, and then we also have the past experience. For informative listening, we also have three key variables, which is vocabulary, concentration, and memory. Alright, so let's discuss first um, vocabulary. So when you listen to an audio, you listen to the um, information of it, and then you are going to listen the vocabulary words, and then check whether you understand the whole message using that vocabulary. So vocabulary, the precise relationship between vocabulary and listening has never been determined, but it is clear that increasing your vocabulary will increase your potential for better understanding. And it's never too late to improve your vocabulary. Having a genuine interest in words and language, making a conscious effort to learn new words, breaking down unfamiliar words into their component parts, all these things will help you improve your vocabulary. So let's say, for example, you are listening to your teacher, and we are talking about a presentation. Say how to make spaghetti. All right, so you're going to listen to the auditory information how about making spaghetti. So you're going to write down the vocabulary words that you know. So let's say for example spaghetti, tomato sauce. What else? Hot dogs. What else? Frying pan, cook, like that. So you need to know all the vocabulary words, and then not necessarily all the vocabulary words, some vocabulary words, just to check whether you understand the message. So if you're going to write it down, and then the teacher or someone will ask you, all right, okay, so how are you going to make spaghetti? So using that vocabulary, you can make the spaghetti. Or if the teacher or the lecturer asks you certain questions concerning the steps on how to make spaghetti, then you can answer them using the vocabulary that you wrote down. Alright? So I hope you understand what I said. Alright, concentration. So concentration is very difficult. You can remember times when another person was not concentrating on what you were saying, and you probably can remember times when you were not concentrating on something that someone was saying to you. So there are many reasons why people are not concentrating. So it's like they are distracted. So there are many reasons, like let's say for example you're preoccupied with something. So it's like while the teacher or the lecturer is discussing how to make spaghetti, you are trying to play with your phones or talking to your classmates, talking to your friends. So your mind is divided. So it's like you listen to the lecturer and at the same time you are talking with your friends. So there's a big possibility that you will not understand the whole message. Okay, so if ever that you are going to listen, or you are in the state of informative listening, you need to focus, you need to concentrate. Do not play with your phones, do not talk with your friends. You need to concentrate on the teacher or the speaker. Alright, next one, memory. Memory is an special or crucial variable to informative listening. You cannot process information without bringing memory into play. More specifically, memory helps your informative listening in three ways. Okay, so letter A, it allows you to recall experiences and information necessary to function in the world around you. In other words, without memory, you would have no knowledge bank. So if you're not going to memorize all the information, then there's no point in listening, or you cannot answer all the questions. So you need to memorize or recall experiences. Letter B, it establishes expectations concerning what you will encounter. You would be unable to drive in heavy traffic, react to new situations, or make common decisions in life without memory of your past experiences. And letter C, it allows you to understand what others are saying. So without simple memory of the meaning of the words, you could not communicate with anyone else. So without memory of concepts and ideas, you could not understand the meaning of the messages. So if ever that if you memorize some words, some vocabularies, you know the meaning, so you would be able to understand the speaker in any kind of situations. If you know the vocabulary, you memorize them by focusing or by concentrating, then you would be able to understand the whole message. Okay? Right. So again, informative listening is all about, its primary concern is to understand the whole message. Okay. So we have three variables, which is vocabulary, concentration, and memory. Okay, so I hope you better understand what I taught you for today. So it's a step by step, everyone. So informative listening, while you are in the state of informative listening, first of all you need to concentrate first, and then if it's possible, write down the vocabulary words that you will hear uh, on the speaker. And then while you write down or wrote down the vocabulary words, you need to memorize them. If it's you need to memorize them, if ever that you will experience the same thing in the future, then you would be able to understand what the speaker is saying. So the three key variables are very important when it comes to listening to information. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.